So I advise people, if you want to make a career in DevOps, okay, the first thing is that you need to learn cloud platform. What do you need to learn? Cloud platform. You can learn any platform like Azure, AWS, Cloud, Google Cloud. Okay, so I think. So, are you familiar with any cloud or not?
No, not familiar.
Okay, no, it is. See, first thing that we will first learn the concepts of cloud, then it will be very easy for us to go with the DevOps, correct? Then once we complete this, then we will go for Linux. I think you have already done some practicals on Linux. I have saw some videos of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we will learn Linux. Then we will go for the shell scripting, where you automate everything, the Linux part. Okay, and then Git and GitHub. You know that this is a very popular tool for developers and for DevOps engineer. Okay, and
Mm.
then Maven. You are familiar with this, Charles, correct? It's an build
Yeah.
tool.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then Tomcat is an Apache web server where you can deploy your website. Okay,
Yep.
and Jenkins. You know that it's an automation tool which will help us to make pipelines. Okay, and this is an configuration management tools. Okay,
Yep.
yeah, and this is like Docker and Kubernetes where the current technology is present. Okay, so we will see how to create an image, how to deploy our container into Kubernetes manually, how to do it, and how to do it with through the pipeline. Okay, we will see look into that and each and everything. So you definitely want to go with the basic, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so let me take you. Okay, just hold on. So Charles, we will learn first thing is so let's keep today class about introduction to DevOps. Okay, what actually is DevOps? Can you just tell me the definition of DevOps, Charles?
I know it has to deal with is
Sorry,
it continuous integration and deployment.
correct. Yeah. So let me take you one scenario. First thing, let me tell you one good story. Okay. By this you will get how the software develops. Okay, how the methodologies was present earlier in the market, how the software used to develop. Okay, Charles, you have seen many startups in USA, okay, and in India. There are many startups which are registering every year. So what's the starting point, may I know?
Sorry.
Uh, Charles, there are many startups, correct?
Yep.
Every year. So what's the starting point of that startup? How the startups are forming? Because they are getting an idea, correct?
Yeah.
They have an idea, they have a vision, then only they are starting some IT big industry, IT startups. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So once they have an idea, what they have to do, they have to convert that idea into reality. Okay, so to convert our idea into reality, there are some process. There are some process. There are some methodologies. Okay, like their waterfall model, agile methodology. Okay, DevOps. So once once we go through this process, okay, we guaranteed succeed. What we guaranteed? Success.
Success. Yeah.
Yeah. Then only we are using these popular apps like WhatsApp. Okay. Then only we are using YouTube. You can see that WhatsApp have been upgraded a lot. Okay. Now new upgrades are coming. How? Because people are giving feedback. Again, it's developing. Okay. So it's becoming very very user friendly, and we are dependent upon these products. Okay,
Yep.
they have made this product because they have gone through these methodologies, they have gone through this process. Okay, so in today's class, what we are going to see, we are going to see software development life cycle. You can call it a system development life cycle. How the software develop. Okay, suppose Charles, uh, go through this scenario. What I'm saying. Suppose we are a startup company. Okay, what we are a startup IT company. Okay, client came to us. Client came to us. Okay, now client will be having an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so definitely client will be having an idea. Okay, he will be discussing the idea with whom? With whom? Business analyst. With whom? Business
Business.
analyst. So once he discuss, this business analyst will draft a document called as SRS. Called as SRS, Software Requirement Specification. Okay. Now this business analyst will be direct in contact with the client. Okay. So now this business analyst, what he will do, he will have a meeting with developers. With whom he will having meeting?
Developers.
Developers. So they will, this business analyst and these developers will having a meeting, and this business analyst will explain the requirements of the client. Okay, then these developers will draft a technical document. What they will draft?
Technical document.
Technical document. Okay, so once the technical document have been drafted, at that point the coding will get started. At that point the coding will get started.
Started.
Okay, so planning phase is finished. First the requirement phase is finished, then planning phase is finished. Okay, now the next phase is development environment, development phase. Okay, in this, what the developers do, the developers come into the picture here. Okay, they will be having Git. What they will be having?
Git.
Git. Okay, so this Git tool they will be having, and each developer will be assigned respective modules. Module 1 will be assigned to developer 1, module 2 will be assigned to developer 2, module 3 will be assigned to whom? Developer 3. Okay,
Mm.
so Charles, you should ask me a question, boss. If you are saying me module, what do you mean by module? Okay, you should ask me this question, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good question. Okay, so if you go to a website called as flipkart.com, if you go to a website called as flipkart.com, you will see the men's clothing, correct? Women's clothing.
Yeah.
So that men's clothing is one module, women's clothing is one module. Okay, that feature. Okay, and if you click on men's clothing, you will see one shirt, pant, men's accessories. These are the modules. Okay, so each developer will be assigning one respective module as per the planning. Okay,
Yeah.
correct. So what they do, they will write their code and they will push into the GitHub. They will push into the
Get up.
GitHub. And once they, you know that GitHub is an remote repository. What is it?
Remote repository.
Remote central repository where the code will be pushed, where the code will be pushed by developers. From here, we will pick up. Okay, we
Yeah.
DevOps engineer will pick up. Okay. Now, once requirement phase is finished, once uh, planning phase is finished, once development phase is finished, the next phase is build phase, build environment. Okay, uh, build environment. Okay, build environment. See, now the code is on GitHub. Okay, now the code is on GitHub. So in this environment, a build and release engineer will come into the picture. Who will come? Build and release.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the jobs title, like in DevOps also, there are many positions. One is build and release engineer, where your duty will be to make the pipeline, to create the pipeline, to trigger the pipeline. Okay, to release the version. I will explain you. Don't worry. Okay, so like this guy who is a build and release engineer. Who is this guy?
Build and release.
Build and release. Okay, so this
Yeah.
guy will come into the picture. He will take the code from GitHub. Okay, now he will configure our code upon this server. Okay, upon this server.
So, mhm.
So these three are the servers. Okay, and what he do? He will configure our code on these three server, and what he will do? He will make a build file. What he will generate? He will
Build.
make a build file. Build
Mhm.
file is like uh, .zip file, compressed file. What is it? Compressed file.
That's
Okay,
fine.
its extension will be like .ear, .jar, .war. If you are coding fully in Java, the extension will be .jar. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you are fully coding in Java, if your developers are coding in Java, then the extension will be .jar. It depends upon the programming language. The extension will depend upon programming
Language.
language. Okay, so it will build the your code and it will generate a build file. You can call it as artifact also. What you can call artifact?
Artifact.
Okay, once this artifact is generated, then the next phase, the next environment is deployment environment. Okay, where you will just deploy your artifact, where you just deploy your website, where you just deploy your software. Okay, so so you will deploy your software upon this web server. Okay, we are using Apache here. What are we using? We can use Apache or you
Mm-hmm.
can use Apache Tomcat. Choice is yours. Okay, these are the most two popular web server softwares. One is Apache, another is Apache Tomcat. Choice is yours. You can use anything. Okay, so in this environment, what we will do? We will deploy it. Okay, our website. And once we deploy it, once the everything is okay, that boss, our website is running smoothly, our software is running smoothly, then we can move to another environment. Okay, so the next environment is testing environment. What is it?
Testing environment.
Testing environment. Okay, so in this after, see, the first thing is, the what was the first phase? Requirement phase. And the second phase was planning phase. And the third phase was development.
Um,
And the next,
Test
deployment.
deployment.
And the next, testing. Very good. So now we are in testing environment. Tester will come here. Okay, and this guy testing guys. Okay, these testing guys and developers guys are like enemies. Okay, um, they don't, means they don't have good friendship. Okay, they will play blaming game upon one another. Okay, this testing guy will say, boss, in your code there are errors, and this developer will say, boss, you didn't test properly. Okay, some blaming game will be going on here. Okay, so I am telling you this process before DevOps. Okay, that's how the scenario was going. So in this testing environment, uh, so this tester will come, he will test this. Okay, he will test the software with the help of testing tools. Like there are many tools in the market like Selenium. Okay, there are many tools. By this only they will check, boss, whether the code is valid or not. If this testing guy is not satisfied, what they will do? They will reject and they will send back to the developers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
once, so again the developers will cry. Their job is used to cry. Okay, I have also experienced personally. Huh. So once these testing guys are satisfied, okay, then it will come to UAT environment, where it will come
Mm-hmm.
UAT,
Use.
user acceptance test. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you, there are many industries. Okay, in each and every industry they are there may be different environment as per their choice, because their company they can do whatever they want. Okay, so as per your requirement, you will keep the environments in your company. Okay, so this UAT environment is also one of the popular environment which is mostly used by industries. In this environment, what will happen is it's an user acceptance test. Okay, here the client will be coming here. Okay, client will be sitting. Okay, the investors will be sitting, and our company boss will be sitting, and the developers will also be sitting, and cloud engineer will also be sitting. What cloud engineer will do? Cloud engineer will launch the servers. Okay, his job is to launch the server. And what he will do? Cloud engineer, he will deploy the websites. Okay, he will deploy the software and he will run it. Okay, now if the client is satisfied, then UAT guys also satisfied. Now what UAT guys will do? They will put workloads. What they will put?
Run code.
Workloads.
Mm-hmm.
Workloads. Okay, like suppose your CPU utilization is 100%. Okay, 100 is the your CPU capacity. What they will do is they will put 99% load on this server to check whether the code can handle or not, whether the code has any vulnerability or not. They will put load upon that by some tools. There are some workload methods. Okay, they will put some load on this your software to check the vulnerability of your software. Once this UAT guys is satisfied, once this client is satisfied, then we will move to the next environment. Okay.
Yep.
Next environment is production environment. Next environment is production environment. Okay. See the production environment. So have you ever ordered anything from Amazon?
Yep.
Huh. So this Amazon is lying in production environment. Where is it lying?
Production environment.
Uh, production environment is the environment where the customer comes directly into contact with your software or product website. Okay, and this user will give the feedback. What it will give?
Feedback.
Feedback, and then the cycle of software development repeats till we get better software. Okay, so production environment is a environment where the customers are using directly and giving the feedback, and we will take that feedback as an requirement and then we will again work it. Okay, we will run another cycle of development. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
um, Next, see, let me compare two popular methodologies. Okay, Charles, if you have any doubt, be open to ask anything. Okay, so
Okay.
it will be helpful for me also whether you are grabbing or not. Okay, so there are two methodologies very popular uh, before DevOps. Okay, people used to follow it. Now also Agile is being followed in many industries. Okay, so the waterfall and the Agile. In waterfall, the right hand side one, the requirements gathering will be happening. Okay, next the designing and planning will be happening. Okay, in the
Yep.
second phase, and in the third, development will be happening. In the fourth, testing will be happening. In the deploy, next after testing they will go for deployment.
Yep.
Okay, so in this waterfall it follows a sequential pattern, means once the development is done then only they will go for testing. Once this testing is done then only they will go for deployment. Okay, they follow the
Mm-hmm.
sequential pattern. Got it?
Yep.
So but in Agile what they do, and one more thing, in waterfall the requirements are fixed. The requirement are fixed. Nothing cannot be added, nothing can be removed. Okay, got it?
Yep.
So nothing cannot be added, nothing can be removed. The requirements are very fixed, and this waterfall methodology will be for only for small projects. Okay, and this agile methodology, in this first phase, what we will do is we will gather the requirements. Okay, these requirements can be flexible. Okay, these requirements can be flexible. Okay, and in later we can add any changes. Okay, or we can remove any changes. Okay, So it will be flexible, it will not be rigid, it will not be fixed, okay, in agile methodology.
Mhm.
And then we will go for the design, then we will go for the development. In this, what will happening is, in agile, the requirements are divided into the sprints. Sprint is a cycle, 14 days period cycle, okay. We will divide into 3 4 sprints, okay. Why? Because we will work on smaller parts, okay. First, in first sprint we will work on some requirement. In another sprint we will work on some other requirements. In next sprint we will work on some requirements. So by this only we will complete the whole project. Got it?
Yep.
So once the design is done, then we will move forward to the development. Then once the development is done, then we will go for testing. Once the testing is done, then we will go for the deployment. Once deployment is done, then we will go for the review and feedback. Then iterations will be doing. Okay. So in this, what will happening is, let me tell you that the client, where the client come, okay, the client in waterfall, he will come at the initial time and he will come at the ending time. He will not come in between. But in agile, the client will always stay with us on weekly basis, on daily basis, on monthly basis, based upon the priority of the project. Okay, are you there with me?
Yeah.
Huh. So the client will be on with us. He will see directly with the project. If something goes wrong, he will follow, boss. Why you have not made this button red? I want this. He will be with us. Okay, he will be with us while development also. In this agile methodology, parallel. This agile methodology will follow the parallel manner. Like development can happen at the same time, testing can happen. It doesn't follow sequential pattern. Okay. So this was the difference between agile methodology and waterfall methodology. Okay. And the next thing is DevOps. Okay. Once, recently I have asked you the meaning of DevOps, Chalice. So the Chalice, you have said correct, which is absolutely correct, and keep it up. So the DevOps meaning is, DevOps is an culture. What is it? It's an culture. Okay, where
Culture.
you adopt some technology as per your requirement. Okay, to automate the process. Okay, to reduce the timeline. Okay, to improve the quality, for continuous monitoring. Okay, it's an culture where you
Yep.
adopt the technology to improve the quality, to reduce the timeline, to increase the automation, and to for continuous monitoring. Okay, so you can either say that continuous integration, continuous deployment. Okay, so it's that's also correct only. Okay, but you have to say that, boss, it's an culture where it promotes quality, where it promotes less timeline. Okay, if a project was developing like 10 days with the agile model. Okay, if with the agile model, if a project is getting deployed 2 to 3 days. Okay, but with DevOps it can happen in 30 to 1 hour. Okay, it will reduce your timeline, it will improve your quality, it can monitor your software and infrastructure. Got it?
Yep.
Yeah. See, once the developer is pushing into the GitHub, it is creating one pipeline. It is getting built in the first stage, and the second stage it is getting test, and the third stage it is going through UAT, and the fourth it will directly reflect in production. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all about our class.